Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I want to talk to you about four things tonight, and all of them are related to the political chaos that Israel is in at the moment. The first thing is Benjamin Netanyahu. There was a report in Ma'ariv newspaper that he is considering dismantling the war cabinet and passing all of the authorities of the war cabinet to the security cabinet in his government. We previously had situations where they had lots of disagreements in the war cabinet, but it's not surprising, okay? We had the war cabinet established initially to unify the political class in the war. So he had Benny Gantz with him, he had Gadi Eisenkot with him. The people have a very rich history and background in the military, to somewhat show the Israeli population that it's not Benjamin Netanyahu leading this war, it's all of Israel that's leading this war, and we're united, to show a united front. However, this show of unity failed from day one. Firstly, when they moved in this war cabinet, Benny Gantz and Eisenkot, they declared that it's a move for the war, and when the war ends, we're out. Because they have very deep-rooted disagreements with Benjamin Netanyahu. Benny Gantz specifically tried to have a government with him previously. It was in his coalition, but even that failed, although he faced a lot of backlash back then, but even that failed because Netanyahu is an impossible person to deal with. It's either my way or the highway. However, because they wanted to show unity to the Israeli population, dismantling the war cabinet will completely destroy this image of fake unity, because the Israeli population know how split they are. But this will just come and prove to everyone that this is Benjamin Netanyahu's war, not Israel's war in Gaza, and it does not represent the majority of the Israeli population, whether they support this genocide or do not support this genocide. But they do not support this war as Benjamin Netanyahu is leading it. To them, he's not prioritizing getting the prisoners back from Gaza. He's not managing the war properly. Many people from the intelligence and the military community and establishments and even the political class previously said that Israel's image is being ruined. If we continue down this path, Israel is doomed. This will prove that there is no unity when it comes to Israel. This is coming simultaneously with another report in Channel 12. The report said that a war cabinet and a minister meeting was suddenly and unexpectedly cancelled. They did not provide any more details. And again, this is not the first time that this has happened. We had previous meetings between the political leadership and the army and the war cabinet and ministers that were cancelled, or they broke the meeting in the middle, or they even had fighting and shouting matches in some of them, and we spoke about them at the time. One of the most significant beefs that happened previously was when the defense minister, Yoav Gallant, stormed into Benjamin Netanyahu's office and threatened to bring a Golani brigade to instill order next time, to make sure there's order, because to him there's no order with Benjamin Netanyahu's leadership. How are these two connected? They could be very well connected because they came simultaneously. One report in Ma'arif saying he might completely cancel the war cabinet, move the authorities to his government, and then the other one about this meeting and meeting breaking apart. But people need to remember, the people in Benjamin Netanyahu's government, the people forming the solid coalition, who are Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, the very radical far right in Israel, they are at complete odds with the war cabinet. Smotrich is telling Netanyahu, end the negotiations now, enter Rafah immediately, don't talk, destroy Hamas, and then force them to get our prisoners back. Obviously, that's not realistic. Netanyahu, however, is trying to play with both sides, although he's leaning way more towards his war cabinet. So this is another thing that's connected with the first subject that we spoke about, and it's not looking well at all when it comes to this, and this might deepen, very well deepen, the split in the Israeli society and between the political class and the military establishment as well. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the negotiations. So we're having Israel sending an amendment, Hamas having an amendment, sending it back. The most recent update is that Israel rejected officially Hamas's amendment on the paper. So all of this talk that there are positive moves forward, they're not really substantiated by any evidence to support it, because Israel has officially rejected all of Hamas's proposals. And what we've had in terms of report in Channel 14 is that the Israeli negotiating delegation, they received strict instructions not to accept a ceasefire deal when they go to the negotiations to speak about releasing prisoners. So what is the purpose of the negotiations? People want a ceasefire. And Hamas told them previously, we're entering these negotiations on the basis that they will eventually lead to a ceasefire. This is not happening, right? And Benjamin Netanyahu is clearly putting these guidelines now for the delegation not to reach a ceasefire deal. So he's very clear now in the fact that he's saying, no, we don't want to reach ceasefire deal. We just want everything to go our way. Reject any proposals. No international pressure, no nothing will stop us. And this international pressure thing, it was highlighted by Ron Dermer, which is the last thing that I want to talk to you about. Ron Dermer is the Minister of Strategic Affairs. He made a very blunt statement. He said that Israel will control Rafah even if that led to a deep crack in relations with the US. This will happen even if Israel had to fight on its own, and even if the whole world turned its back on us, including the US. Now, we previously had statements from Netanyahu saying that we have our disagreements with the US, but they're our ally. We're trying to reach a mutual language. They don't see things the way we see them, but we appreciate them as an ally. There were far harsher statements from his cabinet, from his government, regarding the US and their interference, saying that we're an independent state, we do what's good for us. But this is an extremely blunt statement from someone who has very close connections in the US. So if Israel goes ahead with this Rafah campaign, they're signaling that they will have much deeper problems with not only the majority of the world, obviously, that's completely against this genocide, including previous very good allies of Israel like Canada, who stopped arming them now, but the US itself. And again, the question would be then is if the US will use its leverage as it threatened against Israel, or will they continue to supply them and give them impunity when it comes to this campaign? These were the main things that I want to talk to you about tonight, and I will hopefully see you soon in the next video. Take care.